And this is Saturday, January the 18th, and you have entered overtime on just another breakneck Saturday chock full of local sports. It's my job to pull together as many of the pieces of the Tri-State jigsaw puzzle as is humanly possible and construct you a proper picture. And today's glimpse includes a ton of wrestling and a heaping helping of tournament championship basketball. That's where we shall start tonight. Round 2 of unbridled goodness that is the burgeoning Liberty Payson-Seymour round ball rivalry WIT championship game tonight. Second half in a slam-packed gym. The people of Winchester love their basketball and they love their 92-year-old tournament, and why not? It is fantastic. Payson leading, but Liberty trying to make a comeback. Michael Blewett to Brett Genenbacher to Reed Wolfmeyer. He's the Wolfmeyer and he's howling for you. Cuts the lead to 6. But here comes Cody Hildebrand firing from distance. Huge night for him. More on him in just a second. Blewett at the other end trying to answer, keeping this game as close as he could. Cuts the Payson lead to 8 at that point, 33-25. Blewett again. Tough finish through traffic right here. He'd end up his night with 20 points. Payson had too many answers, including this fella, Cody Hildebrand, the Destroyer. Easy finish at the other end. He'd get some help in the second half as well. Dalton Edwards doing his thing along the baseline right here. Extends the Payson lead out to 43-27. Hildebrand with a great take right there. Payson wins this thing 2-0 against Liberty this season. 49-35 is your final. That is the first ever Winchester Invitational title for the Payson Indians. Well, this had the makings of a very big day for the Illini West basketball programs as well. Not one, but 2 potential championships on the line for the Chargers as Friday night's doings at the Hancock County Tournament threw the window of opportunity wide open for the IW boys to sneak away with a title that Unity looked earmarked to win a little earlier this week. What Illini West had to do tonight was take out a very good Keokuk team coming off a big win over Fort Madison. Strange game for John Hughes' Chargers. At the end of the first quarter, this is Braden Bennett with a 3. It's 22-13 IW at that point. In the second, all kind of turnover issues, uncharacteristic for the Chargers in this game. Dante Davis with a steal. At the other end, Brant Ames finishes with a pretty finger roll. We're not done with the comeback at this point, not by a long shot. This time it's Davis with a steal again. Chris Ailes-Jones at the other end fouled in the process. That's larceny, layup, and the extra Band-Aid to go with it. The 9-point Charger lead had evaporated, but the Chargers go back to work, ramping back up the offense behind this guy, Braden Bennett, the Deadeye. That's a 3-pointer. Kid had 30 points in the night. Add some Braden Carroll to the mix, and again, the lead would swell out to as many as 11. Strange finish to this ball game, but somehow Illini West manages to get the job done after another Keokuk comeback. Illini West takes the championship tonight of the Hancock County Tournament with 1 loss, but they get it done on defensive point differential. 62-60 was your final. How about the Illini West girls? They too looking for a championship in the Lady Panther Classic. They could win theirs outright behind Josie Finch, who's been Durant-like of late. They call him the Durantula, so we will call her the Finchula. That might be the worst nickname ever, but we go. In this game early on, tell you what, Carl Beebe's team giving no quarter in this one off the Summer Burgard miss. That's Lauren Southwood with the finish. Here comes Illini West trying to get some offense mustered in an ugly first quarter. Michaela Gronwald about the sum total of it. Her team down 5-2 on the business end of a 14-2 run. Again, Miss Burgard is good. It's always summer season when she's around the net. Very strong player, very strong finisher. 14-2 at that point. Josie Finch, though, about to ramp things up. She had 9 points in this game, made the all-tournament team, had 89 points in the week, and we had her for 23 threes. That's not too shabby. Eventually in the second half, after struggling, it would be Illini West outscoring South Fulton in the third quarter, 13-2 behind Michaela Gronwald's 15 points to pull off the victory in the championship. That's a sweep for Illini West, boys and girls. 42-41 was your final there. Non-tournament action now. They may be the smallest enrollment school on the Quincy High schedule, but don't let that fool you for 1 second. Roseville, I should say, presents as much athleticism and every bit of the threat level of the big class schools in the Blue Devils schedule. So how would Quincy High respond tonight? Very, very well, thank you very much. Sean Taylor's team reserving its best effort maybe of the season for a really good Monmouth-Roseville team, which didn't look very good tonight. Zach Burry, red hot tonight. Couldn't have been better if you put a 4-iron in his hand, firing from the top of the key. How about some kick-out passing right here? Burry for 3, you betcha. In the third quarter, it's 29-19 in favor of the Blue Devils. The Burry show continues. He was a flurry of Burry highlights in this one. He had 21 points, this time going for the traditional 2. Barnell Thomas, show out, my man. Nice take right here on the pull-up, Jay. It's 38-21. Quincy High is destroying Monrose and looking good while doing it. Friday night's hero, I should say, Alex Shute, aptly named, shooting from the corner, nailing the three. Barnell Thomas looking two. How about Connor Mellon, who had a big night as well. Mellon, baller in this one, had two. 49-23 at that point. Some fast break fun for the Blue Devils. Lincoln Elby out to Parker Bland, the youngster, for the easy lay-in. All Blue Devils all the time. One more for Mr. Burry as he completes the three-point play right here as the Blue Devils go on to win impressively tonight. 63-43 was your final. Meanwhile, Quincy Notre Dame just uptown, not having the same kind of night. Of course, when you're facing Peoria Manual, things are just a little bit different. How about Quincy Notre Dame trying to get things going? It's Drew Eaton to Austin Ritter, who's played very well this season, for the easy lay-in at the other end. Then Ritter going to drive the baseline and do it again. Tell you what, Manuel couldn't stop the kid. Should have fed him more often. Manuel had plenty of answers in this one. Delano Jones working inside, hitting the turnaround jumper in this one. How about some transition Raider basketball? Riley Walls with a nice finish for two. Tony Stella, the high scorer for the Raiders in a game that was never close in this one. He did have 11 in this one off the pick and roll action. Too much of Javen Lee and the Manual Rams in this one as they blow Quincy Notre Dame's doors off. 72-39 would be your final on this day. A couple of scores to pass along from non-tournament action. Actually, this was the Jerseyville tournament. I stand corrected. Pittsfield had a lead at the half. Wade Smith with 16 points as Pittsfield beats Alton Marquette beats Pittsfield 58-49. Wade Smith with 16 points in that one. Also, we had one regular season game in Missouri tonight. It was a thriller over in Edina. Knox County getting the better of Highland by one. 56-55 was your final in that ball game. Royce Poor leading the way to victory tonight with 24 points. Well, coming off a very successful Friday, the local wrestling contingent at the Quincy High Invitational seemed well-heeled for success, with 16 local semifinalists in play, and the host school sitting firmly in second place in the team standings behind powerhouse Mediapolis. But on Championship Saturday, the bracket reared its ugly, ugly teeth. There's some good wrestlers out there today. We'll pick it up, though, in the semifinals. 145, the locals going at it. Quincy High's Matt Bilgery, Q&D's Dolan Eichel-Schulte doing the deed in here. Advantage early on in this one, Bilgery, who's back from the injury and looking good. He scored the early takedown here and just keeps successfully going to the well on Dolan. He found some chink in his armor, getting to the legs and getting into them and getting easy takedowns. He started piling them up right here, going up 4-1. Eichel-Schulte, a pretty good wrestler, but Bilgery just simply had his number in this one. 6 takedowns in all, 1 escape point en route to a 13-4 victory for Bilgery today. At 145, he would also later go on to win the championship after this wonderful semifinal win. Let's pick you up in a very tough match at 152 for Quincy High's Parker Schutte versus East Peoria's Drew Foster coming up right here. This, my friends, is Parker in trouble not once but twice in the first round, but somehow he would Houdini his way out of both predicaments and eventually find equilibrium and get the takedown in his own right. Parker Schutte with a massive turn of affairs right here at the end of the first period. I tell you what, he would end up also getting the tough tilt off of this for some back points. Ends up finishing with a 7-2 victory to advance on into the championship. Parker Schutte, though, ran into a buzzsaw at 152 in the championship, ended up losing. But second place for Parker Schutte as well as the Blue Devils were compiling points there as well. We're going to bump you up to 195, where it is the #1 Class A kid in the state, courtesy of Quincy Notre Dame. You know him, Jeffrey Haley, and he is darn good. His draw, you're still looking at Parker Schutte. I told you, he worked hard for those back points, and we're going to give him every second of television time he richly deserves here before getting his 2 and going on to victory in that semifinal. Now let me move you up to 195, kids, where Jeffrey Haley was taking on Zach Stout. Haley would grind out the very early takedown on a very good opponent who was very aggressive and nearly would finish Stout off before the end of period 1. As you will see, Haley get control here, get his 2 points, and just kind of keep working as he eventually would roll Mr. Stout to his back. Ended up with 2 back points here out of this as well. Nearly what I thought might have had the pinfall, but Haley working hard in this one, as you see, inside for more points, building the big lead. Eventually, Jeffrey hangs in there, would end up getting the pin in this match to move on to the championship round. Here's his 3 back points as well, as you can see. Clearly, Jeffrey Haley in control in this semifinal to punch his ticket to the championship round. Unfortunately for Jeffrey Haley, things would run out of steam at 195 against a kid from Mediapolis who was just an absolute monster. So a rare loss for Jeffrey Haley, but he does end up getting the pin here and advancing on into the championship. So congratulations to those 3 guys. Let's move you on to the Invitational Finals tonight. New tape, new storyline as Q&D's freshman Ashton Myers was first out of the gate for a title shot at 106, taking on Trenton Jackson of Moline and looking really good. Tell you what, kind of a weird predicament early on in this one, but this is Ashton Myers, the freshman, coming off the legs and somehow getting the takedown late as he wiggles free and does that. Second period, Myers hits another takedown to go up 4-0 and would later add the escape point coming up right here to open the third to take a 5-0, eventually 7-0 lead. Tell you what, Myers would give up 2 points on a takedown late, but it didn't matter. Ashton Myers, for the third time this season, is an invitational champion for a freshman. Very impressive. He told us last weekend right here on Seeds of Greatness that he wanted to be the first freshman at Q&D ever to qualify for state. He's well on his way. At 113, I thought Will Lucy was our surest bet for a title today, and sure enough, the West Hancock Titan did not disappoint, taking on Meepo Shea. Swafford right here. Good opening takedown right here to kind of set the tone, and then Will in control 2-0, could kind of pick and choose his moments. Got an escape to make it 3-0 at that point. You know what the great thing about Will Lucy is? He never looks uncomfortable, never looks, he's unflappable, I guess is the word I look for. Just a brutish takedown right here to extend his lead to 8-0. Then he's just going to ride out Swafford for the win in this one. Great day for Mr. Will Lucy as he ends up taking first place. His brother Jack took third place on the day as well, so West Hancock showing out. We're going to show you a picture right there of Ashton Myers as well. One kid we did not get a chance to show you earlier today because he got a bye in the semifinals, Michael Peters, who opened up against a phenomenal wrestler right here from East Peoria. Great start in this one. This kid pinned Jack Lucy earlier in the day, and it would be Michael Peters taking a 2-0 lead earlier before this kid just went nuts on the day. Great wrestler at 132, ended up winning the thing, handed Michael Peters his first loss of the season, so Michael Peters with his second place finish as well. Blue Devils looking very good. Lots of wrestlers today. Let's take a look at some of the other notables and their finishes at the Quincy High Invitational. They included Logan Thiele at the heavyweight division, who finished third. Lucas Dively from Central finished fourth, so those two guys met up head-to-head. How about my man Gage Mass, wrestling for the Quincy High JV? Just turned it on today and yesterday. Went from wrestling for the JV squad all the way to wrestling for third place. Just one loss all day long. Pretty impressive stuff. I mentioned West Hancock. I failed to mention 106-pounder Devin Beeston, who also finished third on the day. So great showings all around on the wrestling mat today for Quincy High and others. Also today, a pair of wonderful showings down at St. Charles West for two of the Hannibal Pirates' outstanding state-ranked wrestlers. Kyle Muring going, I believe he went 6-0 on the day to get first place at 220 pounds today. And Colby Collings in a loaded 160-pound division. He gets through as well and gets a championship. Also for the Pirates today, Tyler Janes and Chandler Foey, both ranked #1 in the state in their respective weight classes, which I believe off the top of my head are 120 for Foey, 126 for Janes. Finished second today. Both picked up rare losses, but both ended up with second place finishes. Also today, congratulations to the Keokuk Chiefs. Tough finish in fifth place today at the Marion Tournament, but two individual weight class champions. Brant O'Shea, who's undefeated this season, went 8-0 today. And look at Cam showing out as well. Won his final match today, 21-5. Also not listed there, the Chiefs got a third place finish from the awesome Mr. Dakota Shaw as well. So congratulations to all the wrestlers. Good stuff to be found all the way around as the regular season now in wrestling has just 2 weeks left to go. Hard to believe we're getting into the throes of the winter playoff season. When we come back, plenty of college basketball coming your way next. Okay. Okay.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
Let's play the speed round. John Wood men opening the conference season against Danville area today. The Blazers come out blazing. Even when they miss, things went well. TJ Tisdale, no. Paxton Harmon is there to clean up. How about some transition running at the other end? This is Brody Gronwald, and this is pretty stuff from the Illini West product. Finish at the other end. Bucket, Band-Aid. He would miss the three-point play, but the Blazers would score on the missed free throw as well. More to come in this one. Gronwald, a monster day today. Scoring-wise, 24 points. New career high for him. He was also an assist machine, finding Paxton Harmon just a bit later in this ball game for the long three, as the Blazers did a fantastic job in building an 11-point lead right here and moving the ball all over the place, zipping it around the offense. And there's Paxton Harmon. You cannot leave him wide open. He will bury you. How about a little El Dorima to wrap up these highlights, as it would be John Wood opening up conference play in impressive fashion today, getting a big-time win at home. Final count in this one, 88-83. TJ Tisdale, 19 points, 16 rebounds. On the scoreboard today, collegiately, Western Illinois struggling on the road despite a career best day for Mike Ocharobia. Also, Quincy University continues to struggle, now 2-11 on the season against Division II teams, losing another heartbreaker, this one at UMSL. We've got more for you on the docket today. St. Norbert, way too much for Illinois College. How about the Culver-Stockton men we'll start with the HLG men getting a nice win at home, getting out of their losing streak. Jay Jones, the pride of Hannibal, with 11.7 assists in that one. Here's Culver-Stockton, big win on the road. CJ Adams tying a career high with 19 points in that ball game. And how about some love for McMurray and the two West Central products on that team? Brady Slagle, Dylan Guthrie combined for 26 points, as Mac now improves to 10-4 in the season and 6-1 in the North Sliac. We'll get you some highlights of them coming up this week. John Wood women, 2 opening up conference play today. Camp Point Central alum Kyle Bent back on the bench, back home in the Tri-States, leaving Danville area here. Lady Blazers, though, feasting on plexiglass today. Offensive rebounds are us. Ashlyn Force starts it off. How about Brianna Taylor? This one is pretty as well. Taylor with a really good first half. She seemingly scored every point she got her hands on. Shea O'Brien, none too shabby in this ball game either. She was good at creating opportunities, this time for the aforementioned Brianna Taylor with a knockdown shot. Then Shea doing it of her own accord right here. She had 24 points on the day. We're even going to celebrate the defense as well. The lost art of drawing a charge for the Blazers. Lamia Frazier-White taking one for the team, sacrificing good bucket at the other end. Wouldn't count, though. The charge erases it, negates it. John Wood doing some things in this ball game. As I mentioned, Brianna Taylor finish it out for us as the Blazers end up losing. First time Kyle Bent's won back at home, I believe, in his 4 years at Danville area. 82-76 is your final in that ball game. Let's talk about some other news on the college docket. For the second straight game, another heartbreaking loss at Western Hall for the Leathernecks. J.D. Gravina's team falls. 83-77 was your final there. The Quincy University women continue to win. Lucy Cramsey with 11 boards today. That's your point guard doing things today, or your off guard, I should say more accurately. She had 8 points and 11 rebounds in this one. On the docket, we had other wins, but Culver-Stockton wasn't one of them. Peru State way too much on the road, beating up on the Lady Wildcats. HLGU, though, breaks out today, gets a nice win at home. It's a home sweep for the Trojans and Lady Trojans. Nice to see that shaken down as well. We've got third place action for you from the Winchester Invitational. Porta versus Central in this one. Fourth quarter, Porta leading by 3, 33-30. Porta continues to push. Dalton Milleron right there with a three-pointer from the top of the key. Central down as many as 10. Going to come back, though. Cole Phillips doing Cole Phillips things with that pull-up jumper that he's patented so well in the lane. Then Austin Kramberg creating for the offense would find Taylor Hyman for the open three. Central down just 6. Unfortunately, Porta closes on a nice flourish. Beat Central 54-51 was your final. Fifth place game would be Griggsville Perry versus Carrollton. These two teams, 2 previous meetings. One of them an overtime thriller that Griggsville won. The second one, Carrollton, a blowout. This this one, more of the thriller variety. Carrollton in the second quarter, Cody Leonard puts Carrollton up 4 from the outside with his 3. Now in the third quarter, here comes Levi King, giving Griggsville the lead with the lay-in under the hoop. Again, Levi King reigning today off the pick and roll. That's just beautifully executed basketball. King doing it all over the place. This time corner 3 from Levi, knocking that down to tie the game mid-fourth quarter. 30-30 this game would end in regulation. We go to overtime. Carrollton makes a flat run late. Ethan Fry leading it. Ethan Fry too much. Griggsville Perry's better efforts thwarted today. Carrollton now leads the series on the season 2-1. How about some fun at the North? Oh, well, I've got one more boys score to give you first. Unity today over Southeastern 58-36. Unfortunately for Unity, that loss last night means this game really does nothing for them in the title chase at the Hancock County Tournament, but a pretty good week for the Mustangs. Dylan Schaefer leading the way with 21 points. Now a thriller as well from the North Green Tournament. Third place on the line between West Central and Waverly. Brian Bettis' team looking for something in this one. Kayla Moore, give it to them on the baseline jumper. West Central up 3 at this point. Waverly, though, had answers. Tara Sullivan in transition gets the lay-in at the other end. West Central down by 2 with 1.2 seconds left. Megan Lashmet would get fouled and hit both free throws. She's got ice water in her veins to force overtime. In OT, West Central down 1 late. Lashman with the lay-in with 2.2 seconds to give the Lady Cougars the lead by 1. It's insurmountable, you would think, but Waverly, unbelievable finish to this ball game. The tip, the drop, and that's how West Central finishes fourth. Waverly gets it done. 54-53 was your final. Also tonight, third place game between Central Southeastern and Havana. Central Southeastern bedeviled after leading at the half by Kayla McDaniel. The masked woman was everywhere. Central Southeastern in a constant fight to find offense. Dakota Limpkeman from the outside for 3. Kara Twaddell also getting a nice jumper to go down at this one. Or actually, this is a touchdown catch on the long throw out in this game. Was tight throughout. Central Southeastern could just never get over the hump in this ball game, despite the better efforts of Aaron Flessner here as well, as Central Southeastern loses by 3. Second straight loss for the Panthers. They got their offense a little bit back together, but they lose 59-56. Also at that North Green tournament earlier in the day, 5th place to Pittsfield Pleasant Hill behind a nice day from Rachel Clowers, who had 11 points. Final count in that score as we go to the scoreboard, 44-41 as Pittsfield Pleasant Hill beats North Green. Also today, Quincy Notre Dame, a rare loss. Don't get to call these very often, but QND ends up dropping one today at the Galesburg tournament to Morton, 50-49, battle of top 10 teams in the state. Mary Beth Hugenberg with 22 points in the loss as QND falls to 17-2. Earlier in the day, QND just took out Peoria Central, destroyed them behind 14 points from Cassidy Foley. And Knoxville today, a winner over Rushville Industry, 42-25 was your final. We'll have your con communication coming up next on Overtime. Well, I made a note to myself and I forgot to do it. Let me do it now. Congratulations to Q&D wrestler Blake Schutte, who today posted his 100th career victory as well. Sorry I didn't do that earlier. Let's move on now. Time to get connected to the best highlights for the month of January with our latest Con Communication Connection nominee. And speaking quite plainly, this week's honoree is here less for any one single thing she did, but rather her showing out with what has easily been the most dominant week of her career. Ladies and gentlemen, the Finchula, Josie Finch. Now, she did have a fantastic buzzer beater in the third quarter right here the other night in her team's victory over Havana, but it was Josie Finch everywhere on the day. 89 total points in this tournament, hitting jump shot after jump shot. As I mentioned, 23 three-pointers. Congratulations to Josie. She is your second nominee of the month. If you are a Josie Finch or Finchula fan, you can vote for her at the end of the month, although she has some pretty stiff competition already from Gage Klitz with another one of those, as you look right there, another one of those fantastic alley-oop slam dunks. So we'll post those at the end of the month along with two more fantastic nominees. You vote, and if you vote, you have a chance to win a great prize package from Con Communication. Also want to pass along the big news for Luke Guthrie. Continues to play exceedingly well. Today, another 5 under 67 down in Palm Desert. He's 13 under overall, 203. That's currently 25th place. So Luke, if he plays well tomorrow, looking at a top 20, top 25 finish. Luke is still 14 strokes back. The leaderboard has been pushed significantly, but Luke in very good position in his first competition of 2014. And we'll have more overtime coming up after this. Two last final notes to leave you with today. Congratulations to the Culver Stockton men's volleyball team, posting the first program win ever today over Lindenwood Belleville, and did it in straight games as well. And if you missed the news earlier, congratulations to Jacksonville offensive tackle Gabe Meganson, who on a junior year visit today to the University of Missouri received what I believe is now his 10th scholarship offer from the Missouri Tigers. So Gabe Meganson considering some great schools as well. I'm all out of time, everybody. Stay tuned and enjoy the wrestling.